Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Shakespeare here again on the 11th of October, 2022. I'm here with psychic medium and remote viewer extraordinaire, Liz Cross. How are you doing today, Liz?
Very well, thank you. I'm sorry. We're a bit giggly because we were having a laugh right before I hit the record button. Sorry about that. Let's see. You want to tackle the migrant, see what's going on?
Apparently I do, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is something that we need to get involved in. So apparently over 2,000 migrants arrived in New York City over the weekend after Mayor Eric Adams declared a state of emergency and said the Big Apple needs $1 billion in federal funding for the 19,000 already here. Now, I'm going to take this under advisement because it's in the Daily Mail, and I don't normally believe anything the Daily Mail says, especially the US version. But we do have access to the mayor, don't we? So
yeah, let's probe the mayor of New York and see what's going on.
Let's grab Eric.
Okay, I've got him. Whoa, he is troubled. I mean, immediately the second I tuned into him, he is like, you know what, guys? He's on the verge of a breakdown.
Already?
Yes, I can feel it.
Well, okay, so he's only been in office and since January of this year, but apparently.
He's in way over his head.
Yeah, well, he's not a career not a career politician. Just reading on the wiki, I don't know anything about the guy, but he was an officer in the New York Transit Police and then the New York City Police Department for 20 years. So he's a cop by trade and he retired at captain. Okay. All right.
Okay. But I should imagine the transit police is like BTP, which is British Transport Police. Yep. It's very different to regular city policing. I'm just going to put that out there.
Right, but he was a cop between 2006 and 2013. Mm-hmm. So, and he got to the rank of captain. So, okay, okay. And so he stepped from there to being mayor of New York. Okay, different things. You see, now he's worried about different things. So, what is the situation with the migrants coming into New York?
What is the situation with the migrants coming into New York? He doesn't know what to do with them. There's nowhere to put them. He's thinking of sending them out himself. They can't stay here. He's going to have to try and farm them out somewhere. He's thinking of moving them upstate, but nobody wants to take them.
Whoa, hold on. Okay, so nobody. Oh, right. Okay. Why is he asking for federal money then if he wants to ship the migrants out?
If they want to be housed in the city, okay, and they want the city to take care of them, they need funding. At this moment, this funding is not fast enough.
Okay.
So he's looking at alternatives and he's thinking that he's going to have to ship them out. They cannot stay here. I mean, he's very adamant about this. He doesn't know what to do with them. I'm telling you, he's got beads of sweat coming from his forehead. He just doesn't have a clue.
Right. So according to the Mail article, it says that roughly 19,000 migrants have arrived in New York from other regions of the US, including Texas and Arizona. So it sounds like Texas and Arizona have sent them to New York. And he wants to send them elsewhere. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Now, let's ask Texas and Arizona. Let me group them together as an entity. Why are you sending these migrants out? It's a political move. Okay, well, we knew that. You don't need to be psychic to know that. Right. So what do you mean by it's a political move. They can't stay here. Nobody wants to deal with them. They can't stay here. They're saying they have too many down there already. We can't control this. This is completely out of control. The border patrol is overworked. It's overrun. They cannot keep up with the masses that are coming over the border. There's no checks on these people as they're coming across. You can't prove who they are. And so they're busing them to sanctuary cities where, they can go to certain cities in the US and no questions asked. Oh, we welcome everybody. And New York, is New York a sanctuary city? It was. See, Eric Adams is now saying it was. We've got to change our policy, right? We can't handle this. But according to right now, I'm asking Texas and Arizona, is it a sanctuary city? Yes, it is. I think that's going to change.
Okay. All right. Well, Chicago apparently is a sanctuary city. I'm not sure if Martha's Vineyard is, because some were sent there recently and they got moved on very quickly. I think there's only about 50 that were sent there, but they were moved on, I believe. Well, I think some of the problem seems to stem from the fact that the border between the US and Mexico is pretty much open, isn't it? They have now, I think federal policy is almost like an open border policy. Does he see any issue with that, or?
Are the borders open? I don't actually know what's going on down there. I don't watch the news, so to stay as neutral as possible. Are the borders open down there? Yes, he believes so. And do you disagree with what they're doing? He says yes, wholeheartedly. Was his exact words. I disagree. They should stay where they first come in. And I'm saying, but what if New York City was right there on that border? Then what would you do? He said, I'd have to kick him out. See, there you go. He said it himself. I'd have to kick him out. But, he believes he's far enough away in New York that they're not going to be plagued with these sorts of, economic crisis, because somebody has to pay for them, right? Nothing is free. And now he's saying, well, I'd kick them out. There you go.
But the problem is that Texas and Arizona are on the borders, and they're not allowed to kick them out. So they're kicking them in, aren't they? And I mean, when I mean kicking them in, I mean they're kicking them inland, so to other states inland, not border states. So that seems to be a policy. The policy seems to be open borders, but of course Texas and everywhere they're getting overwhelmed with them, and they're shipping some of them out. I suppose the argument there is that most of the American states might want to take their fair share. Would he agree with that or not?
Most of the American states will want to take. No, he doesn't agree. And he's pointing to the South, and he's like, they won't take anybody. Now, let's tackle the crime wave that's going on in New York. New York is now almost back to where it was, before Giuliani came in and cleaned it up. And I know a lot of people hate Giuliani, and for whatever reason, I don't really care about that. I'm sorry. But the fact is, New York is crime-ridden again. For many years, New York was cleaned up, right? You could walk the streets and certainly in the city and Manhattan at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I've done it many times. Now you wouldn't dare do that. So let's ask him about crime, because obviously he was a cop. There was a reason he was elected. Do you believe that you were tough on crime? No, he does not. He's saying, no, I'm not as tough as I should be. But he's also like saying, my hands are tied.
Right.
When he was in the police, listen to this explanation that he's giving me. It actually makes a lot of sense. So when he was in the police as a captain, he had more control, right?
Yeah.
You tell them to do something, they do it. Here, He says, I'm trying to keep this one happy and I'm trying to keep them happy over there. And then I've got the human rights people over here. And now I've got the environmental people over there. And I've got this government and that form of government. And I got these. He's a yes man.
Hmm.
And he's a people pleaser. So he's actually just trying to please everybody that's making all these demands upon him. I don't feel that he is making these really hard decisions, hardcore decisions that are, that are needed as far as the crime is concerned.
Mm.
The city is strapped for cash, and I'm getting that very strongly. I feel like the police budget is already way over them, more than what it should be, and they're losing the battle.
But didn't they have a bout previously to his when he became prior to him holding office? Wasn't there a wave of defund the police that was running through New York as well? I mean, or am I wrong with that?
I'm not sure with New York City. Let's ask him, was there a defund the police movement in New York? Yes, he's saying, but it was quite small. It wasn't as big as these other cities.
Right. Okay. Right. Let's move him out 6 months, end of June next year, huh?
Well, yeah, that's about 8 months, but yeah, all right.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Let's go.
No, because we were already at the end of December, so we were talking to him. Anyway.
Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry. Let's go. June 30th, 2023, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Okay. I feel like he's actually had a breakdown.
Mm. Oh.
He doesn't want to do this anymore. He doesn't enjoy this job. He thought it would be something that he would really be able to do, tackle a lot of issues. And he's saying, this is a joke, right? He can't do anything. He can't, it's impossible. And I don't feel like he even wants to be there anymore.
So why doesn't he resign?
Why don't you resign? Because it's an ego thing. He doesn't want to resign. He's not enjoying this job at all.
Okay. How's the migrant problem situation now? Is it a problem, or has it resolved itself, or has it got better or worse? I mean, what's the situation?
How's the migrant situation now? He's like giving me a thumbs down. Why are you giving me a thumbs down? It's out of control. Are they still busing migrants to New York? No, that stopped. They're absolutely flooded with migrants. And also, he's saying to me, this is his own personal thought, feeling, and opinion, right? That's what these mind probes are. But he's saying to me, now the migrants are coming in. They're not really stopping at these border states. They're now all wanting to come to New York, and they're just trying to make their way up to New York. So they may not be bused by the states anymore, but they're certainly aiming to come up to the city because of its reputation as a safe haven. And this is posing a massive problem. There's a lot more under the table working, cash in hand. The city does not like that. Even if it is a low wage, it's still losing money on taxes. I feel like they're having to implement things in place for people that are employing migrant workers now. So there's going to be, he's really got to get tough, but I'm telling you, when I'm probing him, he just does not have the personality. He doesn't have that narcissistic, wherewithal that it takes to run a city like New York. You've got to be able to make decisions regardless of what people think of you. And he is not like that. He is like I said, he is saying, yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll do that. He's trying to compromise with all these people and all this pressure on him. And he is in the wrong job.
Okay.
He just can't cope. Personality wise, it's a total clash.
Let's get him out another year. Let's put him out to January. Sorry, June 30th, 2024.
Okay, so let's go June 30th, 2024. Okay, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Okay.
How's he doing now?
How are you doing now? He's done. He's like, I'm so over this.
Is he still mayor?
Are you still mayor? Yes, but are you going to run again? He's debating whether to even run again. He's embarrassed by, the lack of being able to get anything done. Right. I totally get where he's coming from. I really do. Because he thought it was going to be like the police. You know what I mean? Like, I totally understand this. It's going to be, you do this, you do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put in this policy, put in that. And he's realizing he can't do any of this.
All right. Okay. What's the situation, the migrant situation now?
It's definitely slowed down in New York. But I also feel like there's this mass exodus out of New York. People are leaving New York City. They don't want to be in the city anymore. Now, he's saying to me, that is a huge financial blow for the city. You've got very, very wealthy, elite people that are leaving the city. They just are over it. They don't want to be there anymore. It's not worth it. If they want to be in New York, they'll come back for a visit. They can stay for a weekend, do their shopping, do their dining. But as far as like, he's looking at the numbers and the big wigs seem to be leaving.
Right. So as the migrants come in and more want to make their own way there because it's a sanctuary city, or they perceive it to be, the inhabitants of it aren't quite on the same page with that, and they're leaving out en masse. Is that right?
Let's ask, is it because of the migrants that they're leaving? No, he doesn't believe it's because of the migrants that they're leaving. He just said to me, it's the crime. It's the crime. There's been a massive increase in robberies. There's a massive increase in assaults. There's a massive increase in burglaries, jewelry thefts, ram raids, which if anybody who's worked for the police knows what a ram raid is, it's where you like ram something into the front, a shop front, and then you start nicking all the and I just use the British word nicking means
who's doing all this crime then?
Who's doing it? The gangsters. There's organized gangs, professional thieves that are going in and just hitting the city left, right, and center. And they're known. He's telling me we're known to be soft on crime. People are let out. They're not being held in the cells. They're not being held till their court date. They're just let out. They go missing. There are people that are being bailed that shouldn't be bailed. It's a big mess. And he's like, I can control the police. So I get what he's saying. Like, the police can only do so much. It has to be a well-oiled machine. So you got to have your officers who are able, and plentiful to catch the criminals, to do the detective work, which they're already really behind in that. And then you've got to have a justice system that follows up the punishment. So here's where you're starting to get this massive disconnect in 2024. I think it's already present today, which is your justice system isn't in tune with the legal system, the police officers. And now there's a lot of loss of morale. And I've seen this happen in London, actually, where the justice system, there was a period of time where the justice system was not matching what the police officers were doing. And I understand what he says to me by loss of morale, which is, the officers are arresting the same people over and over and over again, and they're not being punished for the crime. So it feels as if, their work is just rubbish, right? It just feels like they're not making any difference. And then your morale is starting to sink. In 2024, the crime rate, which continues to get worse from now until where we're looking at him, it's out of control.
Okay. I think that's all we need to ask this man.
Yes, and it's a shame because as he comes across to me, he's actually a really nice person. And I think he had really big dreams and goals for the city. And he's just been thrown in at the deep end. And he realizes that there's not a lot he can do. And it's kind of sad. I feel his sadness and his pain. It's just he's overwhelmed. And that's a shame. That's a real shame. So thank you very much. This was an interesting one.